So like natural stuff, that would go. Yeah, they got a lot of things, but also it's part of that, you know, the back and forth training, high scoring, and overtime. But still, they've got a lot of. I don't even think out there. George Carolina's offense. I used to have a nice team for.
Just here. I mean, they had a last year.
Yeah.
That was last year.
They're doing it.
The interns stripped us.
No, so then what, the SEC's done it with the Big 12?
Yeah.
I think they should do one with the Big 12. Proximity. I wouldn't mind going to Big 12. They're not going to have Kansas.
No, play K-State, play I don't know,
Some places in my old
they play Missouri.
well, they're going to play Missouri anyway. So
Gophers,
I went to Tulsa. They played in the tournament out there.
Okay.
Actually, Colorado State was playing there before the Gophers.
Okay.
I asked one coach to go for it. He said, that's actually deal, coach. Traveling out west.
Like for this.
It's more macro.
Yeah.
Tailored different.
Yeah, I think there's responsibility. You gotta look at responsibility.
Too far.
You know, did the quarterback hold the ball? Or did the guy just?
Yeah,
You don't want to stay. You don't want to stay too far.
I think
you don't want to stay too close because you guys see the dog around there. You might get mugged. Like you're trying to walk from the hotel.
That's why I covered others. Which I mean, Coliseum is nice historic building.
Yeah.
But
It's
When I was in college, San Jose State played there. They wouldn't give us media credentials. So we just out of stands. Carson Palmer was playing for the and then basketball team played Kentucky was coaching.
And how many of those prep result is
Trashy.
the sports.
It reminded me of Christ Arena.
that. I didn't get myself. That was
When the
I had no fan.
so I think
Survived that for the coach there been there almost 10 years.
I'm telling you, it's like I've seen it.
You still remember him for that?
Yeah.
I would say yes. I look at like
Yeah, I got family in Seattle, so Washington next year. Like
I'm controlling that. Yeah, I'm curious the original schedule for the 16 teams that goes to UCLA.
I think you're kind of playing a similar
This year, and USC the following year.
when you play.
That's what I love about football. So don't be yelling at that. But like, how do I not get that stuff good for this year?
It's gonna be.
This is fantastic.
I mean,
They're figuring out TV.
I know that, but crazy. How late? Would this be the latest?
Like last year was.
Right. We got at least before the fair, right?
I don't remember.
Or at least right around it.
It's not in the September.
Yeah.
But apparently all the TV partners.
I think the last week of Eastern Michigan, there was two shot plays with the competent quarterback.
But even then, can't you release the special and fight about TV league?
Yeah, George Higgins are waiting until the Big Ten.
No.
Well, you're talking about the Big Ten, but
Well, you
you
gotta
go
play
over
tight. You gotta play the big game.
the Big Ten schedule will come out.
You heard that.
They're not conference.
I think we heard that. I think they still.
One more. But they don't have to.
Maybe two.
They don't have to. They can
Well,
run
that
that
was
non-conference
magic.
schedule and just say,
Yeah. Metillus or whatever, he's coming back.
I mean, Missouri, he's playing a little crap.
They'll
be fine.
He's back after home.
And he already wasn't.
I couldn't remember which way.
That O-line has a lot of
Ask Spencer about, ask Spencer about Dennis Gates. Ask Spencer about Dennis.
There's a lot of them.
No, whatever.
But I think they can get, they just have to play the run, be disciplined,
Spencer was,
Before,
get them back though.
before Ben got hired.
yeah.
It's, yeah, this one's gonna be interesting.
You just dangle that carrot and then just leave it there.
You know what I mean.
Some of us don't talk to Spencer Collins, we see it.
You know what I mean. I don't talk to him. Grim doesn't even talk to him. He's working.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
since he quit, cut him right down.
Okay, so
still, I feel like he's still.
I'm just telling you,
Like there's
He's not running mate yet?
and then there's flashes.
I think we're getting
This
close.
guy is not in the right spot.
So here's my question, if he covered his back, did you sign that well, kick that off? That's great, it's your quick football.
I never got a interview. Okay.
Then you go Devin and
I
cover.
never got an interview.
So you take Maverick off.
Take Mav off.
Because Abby's there at every road game.
Well, they
He's the
came
first
last,
off the
so
bench.
you think you
If you're playing two probably.
I turned it down before I
You
said
could
it.
also put him out there too.
Smart.
Too.
You pulled out of the running.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they're fine at linebacker. Everybody was all worried about that. This honestly.
Hello, everybody.
Questions for Aiden? Aiden Lemecki has really taken a big step in his development as his QB. Where do you saw him grow the most?
Yeah, I think Mekki has just matured a lot more as a player. He understands the game a lot more. Just stuff with playbook coverages. I know where he's going to be, and I have trust is a huge thing between me and him. I've gained a lot of trust in him, and he's a great football player. So yeah.
What did you take away after you watched the Eastern Michigan tape?
Things I took away is that we have to be more complementary as an offense. Knowing that we know we can win throwing and we can win running, and now we just got to put those things together. I think that's going to be very important this week.
What's been your impressions about some of the breakdowns in the red zone, and what do you have to do to be more efficient?
Yeah, we just have to execute better as an offense. All 11 guys have to execute. Like I said this after the game, if one guy is not doing their job and the 10 other guys are, then it's not going to work. That's just not how offensive football works. All 11 guys need to do their job, and we've worked really hard on that this week.
What have you seen from the North Carolina defense in preparing for them?
Yeah, they got playmakers. Their defensive line is very good. Their linebackers are very good too, returning 2 linebackers with over 100 tackles. They're very good. They got playmakers everywhere on both sides of the ball. So we're gonna have to be at our best, and everyone's gonna have to be at their best. So yeah, they're very good.
How much confidence did you gain by winning on the road at Wisconsin last year, now going on the road for this non-conference?
Yeah, I'm very confident. Just very confident in our scheme, very confident in the game plan we got this week. Of course, that win definitely brought a little bit of confidence. But regardless of that win or whatever happens, I'm just confident this week. I got a lot of trust in our coaches. I'm confident with our team. We practiced very well, and we're just excited to go there and play.
What's it like, being the underdog this week for the first time this year? You guys are not favored to win this game. So what's that like to take that chip on your shoulder this week?
Yeah, we're really not focused on whether or not we're an underdog or I didn't even know that, to be honest. We're just focused on going there and playing our best, doing what we do best. We're just focused on each other. We're going there to execute, and we just got to execute better than last week. Complimentary, like I said, and we're ready.
Like mentioned on Monday, you guys changed explosives in the offseason from 20 to 25 yards, and through the first 2 games now, you technically have no explosives on offense. So if that's going to change against North Carolina, what has to happen?
Yeah, we just like I said, more complimentary football. We have to be more explosive. We can't go down. We have to break tackles. That has a lot to do with me too. I got to put the ball in better places. It's different when I throw the ball here or here. It could be explosive if I throw it here, but if I throw it here, it's a catch tackle. So working on being more accurate, something I want to do. I think, we talked about this before too, me stepping up in the pocket rather than scrambling. I missed a lot of explosive play opportunities because of my pocket movement. That's something I've taken very seriously without these past 2 weeks. So just stuff like that for sure.
What's been the operation with Harbaugh calling plays and kind of what's his demeanor like?
Yeah, he's calm, cool, and collected. He reminds me a lot of myself. No matter what the situation is, he's always calm. He doesn't get rid of his fundamentals. Easy thing to do at any level. Whether you're a player or a coach, but he stays true to himself. And I'm just really excited to have him. He's got a lot of knowledge about the game, so he's very confident too. But I love having him as a coach. He teaches every quarterback differently. It's something I love about him because he knows we all learn differently. And I'm just, I've gained a lot of my confidence through him because he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what we need to do. Him and the rest of the offensive coaching staff have put together a great game plan. So that also is something I'm very confident in. Yeah, it's, what were you thinking? What did you see? And we just, go over a couple of things. And then he's like, all right, this is what we're going to do going forward, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that.
North Carolina has a highly touted quarterback in Drake May. Do you follow other teams' quarterbacks, something like that? Do you observe and possibly even learn from guys you watch on TV or anything? Yeah,
obviously I have a lot of respect for him. He's a great player. He's earned all the recognition he's getting. He plays very well. Good throwing the ball. He's very accurate. But I've definitely taken some things from his game. Obviously, I study quarterbacks. Like Caleb Williams. Those guys they play the game very well. They're very smart and they know. One thing like I've taken from them is their pocket movement. Like that's something I thought that. Even through these past 2 weeks, those guys move great in the pocket. They know when to extend plays, when to not extend plays, when to take off and run. So I have a ton of respect for Drake May and the entire North Carolina offense, but their defense as well.
Time for one or two more for you. You probably love to throw 50 times, but did you have fun watching Darius run for 190?
Yeah, either way, I know. Whatever's going to work is something I have a lot of fun doing. Those are my guys. So it's like me doing it. When I see Darius doing something that hasn't been done here in a very long time, it's extremely fun to see. And it's extremely fun to see, that guy put in a ton of work and him to be able to go break tackles and make explosive plays. But it goes to our O-line too. Proud of them too, because without them, what is Darius able to do? So I got to give respect to my guys up front too. Yeah, I think we're really just focused on being 1-0, just playing our best. Win or lose, we know that we have to be better as an offense. We have to execute a lot better. We're just really excited to go there and play. We just want to be better. That's really all I could say for that. We just want to be better. I think every win means a lot because it's a championship season. Every game's a 1-0 championship season, so every win means the same. Thank you, guys.
Hi, Jeff. How are you? Fantastic. And then Keegan
Missed opportunity to say a lead. We say a lead around here.
oh, my bad. That was my first few.
Not brainwashed yet. It's all right. So what brings you here? Are you alive? What?
He's on the field. Over today, so yeah, we gotta go shoot him. Finish package after this.
Sweet.
Been to glass and but Collins,
He's up there. So, early sign period ends in December. So, yeah, before, they, I don't think they've ever gotten recruit after the sign day. Really? They've always signed their last of the year.
Justin does have tutoring here coming up, so we might keep it a little shorter than usual, but questions for Justin?
Justin, UNC's OC is known for throwing a lot of screens out on the perimeter. How big is block deconstruction this week at the cornerback spot?
Say it one more time, please.
I said the UNC offensive coordinator uses a lot of screens out on the perimeter. How important is block deconstruction for you guys this week?
Oh, it's always important, no matter which week it is. You know, being physical on outside, getting off blocks, it's always a huge part of the game plan. So we gotta, on outsides, we gotta be physical.
What clicked for you guys in the second half where you only allowed 4 total yards?
Just everybody playing with elite details. You know, we pride ourselves on being detailed. The first half, we had guys misfitting sometimes, missing some small details, but the second half we got it cleaned up, and we ended up finishing the game pretty good.
What are your impressions of North Carolina's quarterback, Drake May?
You know, he's as advertised. You know, watching the film, he can make every throw to the field. Difficult. We got great receivers to throw to. He really put the ball out in front of them. They go get it. So it's a huge challenge ahead of us. We're really looking forward to it.
Do you take a little extra chip on your shoulder this week, knowing that a lot of talks about him, and it's like, hey, we got a pretty good defense here too?
No matter which week it is, we always got the mentality of we got a good defense, and whoever we play, we're going to do the best of our ability to stop them. So it's just another week, and we're just looking forward to it.
What does his running cause problems for you guys?
Say it again?
His running attack, what does that cause problems for your defense, his ability to run?
Oh, it causes problems for any defense when you get a quarterback that's mobile like that, especially with an arm like he has. You got to be detailed, like I said earlier, and trust the game plan. So we need all 11 guys doing their jobs. No one can misfit. So just banking on that.
Anything else for Justin? All right.
Thank you.
Justin.
Thanks.
It took less than 30 seconds. You ever done like one of those things where you get free dinner where you go to say something and do the sales pitch?
I need something bag about
That's what TJ Fleck does.
I need somebody talking trash, and they're not doing it. Two swings and misses. That'll be it. It'll be an opportunity.
No. He's leaving Thursday. He's taking a flight.
I was gonna go to the Twins game today, and I was told that it's
As it's like 8 minutes from me, and we're at over there.
here so I don't get fined. Wow, nothing.
Hey everyone. What was the message from Fleck and Callahan to the offensive line between game 1 and game 2?
You know, it's always just about us, and just, you know, we always talk about week to week just changing our best, and we knew as an offensive line we needed to play better, and we stepped it up, and you know, that was just the message. We just have to play better. It's, you know, it's simple when it comes down to it, just playing better.
Stands out about North Carolina's front.
Yeah, you know, I mean, North Carolina is a really good team. They have a lot of talent. They rotate a lot of guys up front, and they're big and strong and athletic, and it'll be a great challenge for us up front for sure.
Fleck also talked about how he wanted to prove a point, essentially to the entire offense, about running the football going into that game on Saturday, and especially potentially in the red zone at times. Did the point get across to the rest of the offense and you guys on the O-line?
Yeah, I think, rushing for almost 300 yards definitely got it across that, we can run the ball, and especially late into the game, Eastern Michigan was doing their best to throw almost, 5 defensive linemen in loaded boxes and a lot of different complicated fronts for us, every play. And, we kept saying we're going to run the ball into it, even though we knew they were going to bring pressure and bring, loaded fronts up front. And we just accepted that challenge, and we're like, this is the time. This is the next right step for us as an offense and for our team to know that we need to run the ball when we need to run the ball. And I think we proved that. So obviously there's things to get better at. And, week to week, the message is always the same. It's always about us as a team, our four walls we always talk about. As a team, it's always about us and just changing our best week to week.
BJ talked about the opportunistic schedule this year. This one's against a ranked team on the road. I guess, what does that say to you guys, into something like that?
It's another opponent, and as we talked about earlier this season, every team is a good team that we're playing. So it doesn't matter necessarily who we're playing, and we always say that we kind of play ourselves, and it's always about us, and just changing our best and accepting the challenge, no matter if it's home or away. We're really, our coaches do a very elite job at preparing us for home or away games and changing the game plans week to week and to prepare us for the best and prepare us for anything possible. So, I think it's just another challenge, and it's the mindset of the whole team that this is an opportunistic schedule, and every week is going to be a new challenge. So it doesn't matter if they're ranked, unranked, 1 win, 10 wins. We're ready to just dive headfirst into it.
Is there any conference pride, Big Ten against ACC in this one?
Yeah, especially as we're kind of moving into a new era, but we don't look too much into that. But obviously, from someone who's always been a Big Ten fan and growing up here, it's there's always Big Ten pride. That we always want to say we're the best conference, but at the end of the day, we also want to be the best team. So.
Nathan, there's a Minnesotan on the other side, North Carolina, Spencer Rowland. He remembers you from high school, and we do mutual respect there. Guys that are playing at a high level and representing the state.
Yeah, Spencer's a great kid. He another South Suburban guy in the Southern Metro, and we saw each other at a couple of recruiting camps growing up, and he's a great kid. I've nothing but nice things to say about him and his family. It was nice to meet him and his dad and his family on recruiting trips, and he's a great kid. Just another nice Minnesotan family, and so I'll be. I'm happy for him and where he's at, but he's a good kid. And
you mentioned a basketball background, and that helped you maybe at the next level. Do you remember just playing AU or anything like that, or All-Star games and things like that?
Me playing basketball? Well, I was basically a football player playing basketball, but I was not very gifted with a lot of offensive touch in basketball. I will say my job was to basically make we had some really talented teams in Lakeville North growing up. I played with some of the best players ever play there, and watching a lot of guys. Nathan Reavers, who started at Wisconsin, and also Tyler Wall, another Wisconsin guy, unfortunately. And I know Guardsy likes to make fun of a lot of Lakeville North being Wisconsin, but at least there's one guy, and I could stand for that. I know. So yeah, I'd appreciate if more Lakeville people went to Minnesota, but at the end of the day, they're great kids and great families, and I love playing with Tyler Wall and Nathan Reavers, and we even had a lot of other good talented players there, and they're way more talented than I was. And but I love basketball growing up. My whole family played basketball. So I love playing sports, and I think there's a lot of benefits to being a multi-sport athlete, and basketball definitely helped in recruiting and stuff, at least telling people that he's kind of athletic. And so because I think I was the heaviest player to ever make the conditioning test at Lakeville North at like 255 or whatever I was my junior year. So basketball has a lot of value that way. So I think it definitely transitions to offensive line play, and it's a great sport. So I still love basketball to this day.
Like you mentioned on Monday, that Greg Johnson will likely not be redshirting this year. Where have you seen him grow the most since you've been with him in January?
Yeah, I think just his mindset. Greg's a great kid, and another great kid from Minnesota, South Suburbs, playing in Prior Lake, and I think it's just his mindset. He's really matured, quickly, far faster than I ever did, and just as far as he came in at he's big, strong, physical kid, and I'm super proud of him and where he's come from, and right away he was just like, I want to play as a freshman, and whatever role that is, and it's changed, I think, to more of how can I help us, and I think that's really where he's grown, and he's really bought in to the culture, and just a great teammate, great kid overall, and I think he's I think we talked about earlier that the lineup is never set, and we need a lot of guys to be ready to play. It's a physical sport, it's a contact sport, and a lot of stuff happens, and you need a lot of guys to play. And at the end of the day, I think we have a lot of guys that can play, and Greg is definitely one of those guys, and I know he's excited for any opportunity that comes his way.
This offseason, Callie was talking about how he trains the O-line's eyes through the eye progression work. How helpful is that as an offensive line?
I mean, it's everything. You react to things with your eyes, and your eye progression is everything as an offensive lineman, because you're on the front lines playing in the trenches, and things happen so fast. Your eyes have to be in the right spot so then your body can do the work. Coach Callahan prides himself in his eye progression. I think he's 100% right. I think that's been the key to our success over the years, and to what a lot of people, call our run game a very simple, scheme. It's simple that way because it looks that way, because our, eye progression has been, it's one of the most highly valued things in our offense. So.
And as a senior on this team, what do you need to see from Darius, who's coming in as a true freshman, and how much did he line up to what the expectations are as a veteran on this team?
Man, I'm just trying to help the running backs out no matter whatever I can. The running backs have a super hard job, and however I can help him is really how I can be the best teammate to him. And Darius is a tremendous kid. He's a really great human being, and he's going to be successful in life as well in football. And I'm super excited for that kid. And it's kind of the fun part of being an older guy, being 23 years old, and there's some kids who are 18, 19 years old and who are super talented coming in playing as a freshman. And you're like, wow, this kid is super young, but I kind of remember when I was that age too. And so he's dealing with things being young. Same with Greg Johnson. And I think Darius just continues to just change his best, and that's always the message on our team, just to change your best. And you're never satisfied with the result. It's all about the journey. And I think he's got a tremendous journey ahead of him, and one that he's already been on. So.
Time for one or two more. Anyone's got it? No? All right. Thanks, Nathan.
Thanks, guys.
Nathan, no comment on your baseball career?
Baseball career is even shorter-lived. Coach Grimm back in the corner there was my last baseball coach. He told me that I probably wouldn't be very good at playing baseball anymore. Probably needed to switch to a different sport. It was a tough second grade year. I think I went, pulled me from the lineups. There's some pretty hard coaches, and so for a bunch of second graders, a lot of tears at dinner. My dad was yelling at Grimm a lot, and what's going on, man? But at the end of the day, I was a horrible baseball player, so pushed me to play other sports, and that's all you can ask for as a coach, as a second grader, to get you out of a bad sport and maybe try something else. So yeah, that was also a short-lived baseball career.
Really glad we got all that on the Thanks, Nathan. Grim, you want to do a rebuttal on the?
No. I didn't know he was going to go back. And
We wouldn't have enough time if Graham wanted to rip on us.
That doesn't come out on the radio this week.
I hope you're rolling.
I was second grader.
Actually, I believe they were younger than second grade.
You told him until first grade to pick a number.
I did not.
So you're the reason downfall of the sports society.
Good Lord, man.
Did you feel it was your job to recruit the players you are currently have?
Yeah, classically.
Hello.
Questions for Coach Ross? What did you see at halftime to make second half adjustments that allowed 4 total yards?
Well, I think part of it was we were a little bit playing out of sorts in the first half. Like, guys, the communication and the urgency wasn't where it needed to be. We just kind of more or less calmed them down, said, hey, listen, relax, reset. There were some adjustments, there always is. We handled those, but it was more of just like, hey, let's have our process be our process. And I thought they went out and they were more under control, more calm. The leadership kind of rose a little bit at linebacker. So I was pleased with the progress.
Drake May led the nation in scrambles last year, and a lot of them came after initial pressure. How key is pocket retracing and containing in this game?
It's important. I mean, he's one of the best players in the country, not just at his position, but just in general. And he was always hurting people on the run last year. And part of it was him ad-libbing. Part of it was sometimes he got pressure and got out. But he can throw and make all the throws on the field. His arm strength is off the charts. He's got great size and great vision. So, I think anytime a quarterback who's athletic gets out on the perimeter, and if you don't have pressure on him, it allows them to make plays. It causes your coverage to break down. So, those things are all important for us.
How would you evaluate what Kyler Ball and Devin Eastern did last Saturday?
Well, I thought Kyler Ball had an outstanding game. I mean, I've been here a while. It's probably the best game a defensive tackle's had. He had 2 sacks. He had another one that could have been rolled either way, in my opinion, on the empty hand coming forward, potential fumble. He had another sack that was taken away because of a hold. So when you're a nose guard and you're playing most of your snaps at one technique, and you had 2 and were this close to having 4, I mean, that's pretty impressive. He was playing with burst. He was playing with urgency. Devin took a step. We think he has a tremendous ceiling. We think he has the chance to be a really, really great player in the league. He did a good job of addressing blocks and creating knockback and shedding and made some tackles. And, that's the first time we've seen it. We've seen it in practice, but it's the first time it's been in a game, and we want to see it more because he's certainly capable of it. But it was good to see him take that step.
Against Appalachian State, May checked on the runs quite often in that game. Is that something you guys have to be aware of?
Yeah, I mean, he has the freedom to make decisions at the line of scrimmage based off of what they game plan for the week. So sometimes he's checking the runs, sometimes he's checking the passes. It's all based off of the pre-snap look. So those are situations where we have to be able to play our technique, and we got to be able to handle those. Whether or not it's a run or a pass. They're attempting to get into what they think is the best play. So our guys got to be aware of it, and we got to be able to execute. So.
Do you do anything extra this week to empower your guys, knowing that you're underdogs, all the talks about Drake May and this offense, and it's take a second and say, hey, you guys are pretty good too. You can get this done.
Yeah, I mean, no matter who we play, we're always looking to go out and play our best game and execute the best we can. So that doesn't change. I think anytime you play against a talented group like them that's got a really good offense and has some of the best players in the country, and you got to go on the road, those are always situations where you just kind of, hey, the guys in the room got to go out. We're here for each other, and we got to go out and play for each other. And I think that's really where it's at. We know what we need to do. We know that this is going to be a great challenge, and I like our players and I like their resolve. So we're going to go out and play hard. And I think we've had 2 good days of practice, and we got to get a couple more and then go down there and play. So.
What do you try to do to make things easier or more advantageous for the young linebackers to be successful?
I got to tell you, I haven't really limited them that much. They've done a good job with it. I haven't had to say, hey, we're going to simplify, or hey, we're going to take this off your plate, or hey, any of those types of things. They've made mistakes. It hasn't been as clean as I would like, but I think they're doing a good job, and they've taken steps each game. But it isn't a situation where I've been like, hey, we got to really cut back with these guys or take stuff off their plate. I mean, here and there maybe. When you have experienced guys who've played a bunch of football, you're more apt to maybe put a few extra things on. But there's been times in the past where we've had to really limit things based on who the guys were, but not with this group. They've done a pretty good job.
What's your evaluation of the North Carolina running game that's been very efficient through 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you find a stable of backs as big as they have. I mean, they're all 5'10 plus, 220 plus. They run downhill. They run behind their pads. I think their offensive line has done a good job of creating holes coming off the ball, being physical. You know, if you would have studied them, which we did, you know, last year coming into the season, you would have said, hey, it's just a throw team who, you know, will run it, you know, at times. But this year, I mean, they've been running the ball very effectively against two good football teams. So, you know, we've got to be able to hang our hat on being able to stop it, because if we don't, they'll just keep handing it off and they'll move the ball that way, and then they'll be able to play action. So I've been really impressed by them.
Joe, I know you're focused on the task at hand, but 2 years ago at Colorado, there was a great Gopher crowd there. What was your takeaway from that? Did you get to enjoy that at all afterwards?
Well, if I remember right, we won and we played well defensively. And I think that, you know, when those things happen, I do remember the guys coming off the field, and I think there was like a barrier that kind of collapsed or whatever. And but the guys were jacked up. It's pretty cool. Anytime you go on the road and there's a contingent of fans and you're able to win, it's always pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool for the fans. And then it's cool for the players too, because, you know, you're in a hostile environment, but then when the game ends, you know, that kind of dissipates, and then it's your fans. So I do remember that. That was a cool experience.
How do you look at just scheduling in general? Obviously, North Carolina now, Colorado, Mississippi State, Cal. How do you look at non-conference? I know you're defensive coordinator. But
Yeah.
how do you look at tests like this in non-conference?
Yeah, well, obviously the decisions are above my pay grade, but it's a chance to go compete against a good program and a good conference. You know, they're a top 25 team. They recruit top 25 year in, year out. It's in a football hotbed and a quality conference. So it's an opportunity to go measure where we are as a program, where we are as a defense against a quality opponent. And I think the guys like the challenge. The players like the challenge. The staff does. Our recruits, you know, like being able to say that, hey, not only do you got the Big Ten game, but, you know, you've got a premier game to go compete against someone else. So.
When you look back, where have you noticed the most growth from Devin Williams from last year to this year?
Just consistency in his details with responsibilities in the defense. You know, he was a guy that pretty early, you knew he was strong and you knew he was fast and you knew that he could change direction. But it's like, hey, can he learn the defense and execute the defense the way that he needs to? We found out really early on that he was smart. Like, he was certainly capable of doing it. But then it's just reps. You know, linebacker, it's a different position. You know, it takes longer sometimes than other positions because it's so reactionary. It's so instinctual. I tell them all the time, you don't see one thing, you see everything. Like, if you're a narrow vision guy, you're not a good linebacker. Like, because you got to see multiple things. Tight ends, you got to see Y-offs, you got to see guards pull, you got to see motions and bump your alignment. That, like, those guys got to see it all, and it takes time to train linebackers. I tell that to Coach Fleck all the time. I'm like, Coach, it takes 2 to 3 years to train these cats, like to get them to be able to play the way we need them to play. And so I think he's on year 3. And he's right where he needs to be, and he's played well. And the cool thing is, I think he's got a lot more. I think he can play even better as he becomes even more consistent. You know, again, he's got 2 games under his belt, and you know, so I think he's where he needs to be. But if he works hard, there's no reason he can't be a really, really great player for us.
Going back to the thing that really jumps out is just how hard he plays.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where it starts with him?
Yeah, I think so. But, you know, he plays really hard, and he's always played hard. I think, but as you get more comfortable, number one, in the scheme, number two, you're comfortable with the training that you've put in, the strength training, you know, you become able to play faster. So he's always played hard, but now he's even playing faster and hard. And you combine those two things, and you saw the game that he had. You know, because he played hard when we saw him on film. That's one of the reasons we recruited him and wanted him to come to Minnesota. And I felt like for like the first 7 games last year, he was kind of just a do-his-job type guy. He was just in his gap. He didn't really make many plays. But the last 3-4 games of the season, you started to see it. And then in my head, I'm like, well, this is going to be the transition now into this year. And you saw it in training camp. You saw it in the spring ball. So I was pretty confident that it was going to show up in the games where he was going to start being like a playmaker. And you're seeing it. I mean, he has a great motor, but he's twitchy and strong. And those two things combined, you know, allow you to go out and make plays interior like that. But he's been impressive.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. See you. All right. Next week I'll remember.
All good.
Coach Fleck is just wrapping up with you.
That's the worst I've ever seen. He didn't want to be here today.
Bernsey, in what world is it elementary?
It's always been elementary. How is it elementary?
Incorrect.
We're not doing this.
Incorrect.
Not doing this today.
Why did that come up again today?
The podcast.
I heard it like 3 months ago.
No, you didn't.
Garza said
Garza did.
I'm still upset at Chip that he thought Garza was a 6 of 10 and he didn't say anything. Chip, you gotta say something. You thought he was a 6?
Let him know at 9.5.
You might need to call an ambulance.
You should have seen him walk under. He said
He was
6.
telling me about it. I was talking to Garrett earlier. I haven't listened to the show yet.
Chip, if I get above a 5 on your scale, you need to have a come to Jesus.
And then the whole hotel room talking. Oh, that was fantastic.
Can you say milk?
It's milk. Milk. I cannot. Now,
Where are you from?
It's really amazing.
Seriously.
Pride of the East Side.
Even he's from the South. Even he doesn't say milk.
Milk, milk,
Incorrect.
milk.
You can't get that out of there.
Must be that term.
If I say milk, I think I'm sounding like a kitten or something. That's all I can think of. And I'm looking at you as I'm saying it. Cats have ruined my life in that aspect. I can't say the word. I can't say it.
It's a soft eye. That's the thing, is you would think.
How long is this week show?
Cars, commercials with an hour. Jeez. I fast forwarded through the Jack's campaign at this time. I've already heard it 12 times.
That's fair. Garza couldn't get off that we thought he was going to die and we didn't say anything.
I was a little concerned.
What's the context there? I don't.
We showed up in late August and we thought he looked tired, which I said that to.
Garty today told me that it started when Bernsey said he's feeling okay.
Yeah, I just asked him, "You all right?"
Feeling okay. Well, he was looking a little peaked.
Crews are now working to get rid of it.